Alright, so let's do a cavalry tutorial on Fao Fortress. This game is going to be at 77 and 3. Yep. So I guess we're at the start since we got some time to wait before combat. I guess I should say that, again, just like infantry, always be keeping your crosshair on something that's important. Yeah. Like you see here, I'm already looking at the edge of the objective where I think that people could potentially be at the spot a horse there. Already fighting a guy. And I'm tentative to get close to this objective. I usually will not go up there unless I have at least like 6 of my team with me. Otherwise it's me fighting against 10 people all at the start, all at once. And possibly a tank. So if you do that on Fao, if you try to fight all of that as a horse, you're a dummy, and I will laugh at you. But anyway, I'm getting some high ground against this guy. I'm not going to engage another horse unless I absolutely have to up here, because horse combat is cancer at the start. You'll end up jumping over them. Instead, I'm prioritizing assault players. I want to kill as many of their assault players as possible so that the rest of the team is powerless to stop me. Yeah, I see my teammate Ultra kills one, which I am very grateful for. Medics can be tricky, because medics can heal themselves. And that means that if you get one shot on them and you don't shoot the second shot soon enough, they're going to be healed enough that they survive. So. Again, the play here is retreats. I stopped there on purpose so that that guy overshot me. He narrowly missed getting hit by the lance, but yeah, was able to grenade him off. You see what I did there? See how I waited until he was very close to me to throw my grenades, because I knew where he was going to curve back to. People tend to curve back towards their team. They tend to retreat that way. I'm helping kill a tank through those grenades on the bow of it just to set off the 18 line, get it done quicker. Not heading over to B yet because, again, Delta has a firm overlook on Bravo and Charlie. If you try and attack Bravo or Charlie before you attack Delta, you're going to have a bad time because the tank hunter is likely going to shoot you, or a tank is going to shoot you, or something else. Field gun, maybe. A lot of snipers up here trying to get one. When it comes to shooting prone targets, so you see, here I'm using both aim assist auto rotation and aim assist slowdown. What that means is that these players, when my crosshair is over them, slowdown is going to slow down your crosshairs dramatically no matter what your sensitivity is. And that means you have to adjust. You have to push your crosshair actually pretty hard to get yourself back on target because, again, like infantry, your crosshair is going to stop at the edge of a target. So yeah, I'm kind of oscillating between their spawn points. See that sniper up there? You see how I'm using my horse? I'm using my horse to aim rather than my stick to aim. Remember that you can move your character a certain amount of space to aim your crosshairs. It's an interesting concept for some people. The moving yourself to get on target is kind of what the horse is all about. You have to kind of use your mobility. So, you can see I switched to the lance because I'm behind people. I'd recommend only using the lance if you're behind people, or if you are looking at a certain group of enemies and they do not have any explosive weapons that can harm you very much. Like if you have like 2 medics and a sniper, I would definitely go towards them with the lance just to kill them. Most people are not that great. Depends on how aware they are of you. The more aware they are, obviously the more dangerous it is. That's why I always have to kind of be thinking about getting around the enemy. A lot of people won't recognize how effective the horse actually can be. The horse is just treated like a killing machine. You can kill practically anyone using it. You can destroy tanks all by yourself once you get good enough. You just have to be smart about how you engage. Right there, you saw I anticipated that guy coming up the hill. He wasn't ready, his timing sucked, so took advantage of him. This guy, I approach him slowly. You see how I do a small slowdown, so that I'm still kind of like at trotting speed, but I'm not galloping at him. When you gallop at somebody, your horse, it's what's called, the hitbox in front of you extends for some reason. And that means that your horse will follow what's called a narrower path for the time that you're galloping. When you slow down, you're able to adjust a lot quicker to somebody's movement, so it's a lot harder to dodge you. Yeah, here I am just lagging so hard. The game just like launched me off the cliff there because of packet loss. Oh well. Sometimes you gotta deal with it. West Coast servers.
That's an enemy horse.
You'll see some of this lag becomes a recurring theme at times. It just shows up and goes away at times. So here is a bad situation. You see right there, I engaged an assault and a medic. Usually if you do not want to go straight at a assault who is pointing a rocket at you, unless you are prepared to shoot him in the face before you can use that rocket. I was not immediately prepared because I had my lance out. I'm gonna start lagging again. Destroyed. Yeah, see how that guy was anticipating me galloping right there? Instead, I was just walking around casually, biding my time, being patient, and then hitting him when he thought he was safe, when he thought he had walked around enough. Yeah, I won't go after the other horse because the other horse is an imbecile. Most other cavalry in this game are not very effective. If you are able to use both the weapons, both the melee weapon and the cavalry rifle, then you will be like 3 times better as a cavalry unit in general. You see how I'm staying on the edge of the objective here. I do not want to go straight into the objective because I know heavy enemy presence there. Machine gunner opens fire on me. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stay back. Machine gunners can be a pain. They have long range and they have bipods. Yeah, definitely prioritize taking out machine gunners and snipers at long range because snipers are going to have the most effect on you at that range, along with the MGs. Of course, MGs bigger priority. Maybe assaults and MGs would be top priority when at mid range. When at close range, don't care about don't care about supports. Care about the assaults. Everything else just kind of blends in at closer ranges. Alright, so I'm going over here. I take out my lance because I know that I'm going to have to spawn trap these people. I'm forcing them to get into close range fights with me. I see them approaching the castle here. I'm going to take some shots at these medics. It's a hard shot. People that are close to walls. You'll also see a lot that I throw a grenade at somebody and shoot them once, so that it adds up to 100 damage. It's a quick way of killing people. It's a nice little combo that you can do. 1 grenade plus 1 sniper shot, take out a guy. It often works on most players. Kind of learn to recognize when people are aiming at you versus hip firing. Hip firing, like people that are using their hip fire are going to be a lot harder to shoot with your rifle because your strafe is a lot faster. You just have to take your time aiming at those people. When it comes to stationary targets, though, definitely abuse aim assist. Abuse it. Just But yeah, be patient with your shots, like any kind of sniper class. Like here, see how I kind of aligned myself? I made those guys line up so that I could shoot them both at the same time. That guy, yep, take out my lance. Did you know that you can still swing your lance even when your guy is not doing the animation?
That's a scout. One of theirs.
See that? So, yeah, in my next techniques video, you'll probably see that I'll explain how I'm moving so fast as I'm shooting. Right now, I don't want to get too much information because this will all be overwhelming as I'm doing a single commentary. Anyway, you'll see I am chronically behind these enemies. I am just being a big thorn in their side, just picking off one guy at a time. Unfortunately, my team was composed of complete idiots, and they went over and conquered the fortress, which is the exact play not to do on this map. In which case, your primary objective, if you're getting overwhelmed, is get out of there, retreat. The longer that you can kind of keep people at arm's length and be able to just pick off people with your rifle at distance, the more infuriated the enemy team is going to get, and the less attention they're going to pay to your team as hopefully capturing objectives while the enemy team is focusing on you. Here you can see a little secret behind the mountain strategy. Yep, you can get up there. See, hole in the head right over there? He ran straight through the objective. He's not using his rifle. Not the brightest idea ever. I'm not going to pay much attention to the horse because the horse doesn't really... He's not doing much. You can see he's just running around. He doesn't have any targets. See, I recognize that the person that was shooting at me is in a vehicle. And my grenades explode on proximity to vehicles, so prioritize that. Sometimes creating an explosion right next to a horde of enemies is going to blind them temporarily. It's going to make them stop shooting at you if they are very inexperienced, though. Yeah, took out my rifle, shot the MG in the face. You have to, when a target is right in front of you, you have to align your crosshairs so that they're right on them. When a target is, in front of you, but you are moving to the side, to whichever side you're moving towards, you're going to have to compensate for the movement. You're going to have to compensate by placing your crosshairs not on the enemy, but right beside them in relation to your movement. You got to remember that that's called leading your target is going to be essential for whenever you're moving on the horse. Even small movements can make it so that your crosshair is not going to agree with where the enemy is. I hope that makes sense. Definitely let me know in the comments if it doesn't, so I can clarify by text. That guy, yeah. Don't trust snipers. Just do not trust snipers. Like, you see I threw a grenade there, and as I said, explosive destroyed. I shot that sniper because I did not trust him to not be putting down tripwires when he heard my horse's hooves coming towards him. So, if you can, shoot snipers with your rifle. Don't bother with the lance unless they're very close and you can see their feet. If you can't see their feet, then you best believe they're putting tripwires down. Here I got some idiot horse. I was going to kill him right there, but nope, the lag did not agree with me. See how I'm throwing grenades behind me like that? I'm slowing down the enemies that are running towards me by throwing grenades at their feet that they have to dodge. Otherwise they get hurt. And then of course I turn around and shoot back at them. Anything you can do to make it harder for people to follow you, do. Throw grenades to cover your retreat. Even the explosion of the grenades is enough to temporarily blind people from following you. Alright, yep, you see, I'm kind of skirting around the edge of the objective. I don't trust that sniper over there. I'm not going to go for him. I have a horse I have to deal with here, and there's just so many enemies that are very aware of where I am. My team is not really pushing that hard on them, so instead I'm gonna get some heights and start lagging again. I'm gonna go after this guy, because this guy's all alone. Given the choice between shooting somebody who's already shooting me and shooting somebody who's unaware of me, I'll go after the unaware person any day. Because the unaware person is also an easy kill. You'll often see times that I'll multitask. I will shoot one person who is a bigger threat, and then I'll shoot another person who is less of a threat, somebody who's not paying attention, and then I will kill them both with a second shot. Obviously, in order of priority. That guy shot a rocket at me from behind. Yeah, turn around immediately and healed. Remember, you have to heal immediately after somebody hits you with a rocket, otherwise you're going to have a really bad time. That guy was not paying attention. The other horse, he was... Yeah. If you can kill horses that are not paying attention like that, by all means. Let's see, going up to Delta, you can look down at my mini-map. There's a lot of people on top of Delta right there. I know that there's people shooting rockets at me, there's a lot of stuff. They have the field gun. I wouldn't recommend this approach, not unless you're very experienced, because you see how many enemies I have to deal with. I even have to deal with a tank hunter right there. You see how I'm trying to turn around very quick. I'm keeping the least surface area of my horse available for that tank hunter to shoot. It makes it a much harder shot for him. Kind of when you're facing towards a tank hunter or away from him is the best place to be. Obviously with the facing behind, like putting your horse's butt in his face is the best way to go, because you don't want the tank hunter to have access to your horse's head. The head has a multiplier. Assaults, again. Do not go after assault players with your lance out. If you do, you're going to die, and it's going to be terrible. You're going to have a bad time. Don't bother fighting other horses for more than like 5 seconds. If they're too bad to engage you, then don't fight them, because they're just not worth your time. Coming up to Delta, I'm in a spawn area of theirs. Although I also have access to a higher elevation allowing me to shoot down into the objective. See, there's also a land ship over there. Yeah, having to avoid that's pretty difficult. Just a little bit of luck getting past it like that. It probably would have been better for me to go back around toward G instead of going straight past Delta and putting myself in the sightline of that land ship. You can see it somewhat works out for me. Disabled him. Have some bonehead assault that's thirsty for me. See how when I'm going for headshots, I'm not aiming in very much. I'm not using the snap aim assist. I am using my horse to guide my aim onto his head. Gotta have a light touch when I do that. I think the default sensitivity for horses or for any vehicles that people have is 100%, which is kind of ridiculous.
We have taken objective
I mean, other settings that you want to probably take or want to probably use is within the controls tab, I think, the controls advanced tab, turn your center stick dead zones to 10%. Or to 10. I think the default value is 22 for those, and that makes it so your sticks are a lot more responsive. And also, turn down aim acceleration. Aim acceleration is one of the worst mechanics ever. It's going to be one of those things that throws off your aim more than it helps. it's better to get used to that than to, you know, than to go on trying to use the same controls that I use. See, have an assault that wants to kill me a lot. Kind of treat your horse like it's a living thing. I know it's a no-brainer, but your horse is vulnerable to practically every single kind of infantry fire. Bro, it's vulnerable to cannons, it's vulnerable to just small arms, it's vulnerable to, you know, even going up hills too fast. So, kind of give your horse cover, for example. You know, get behind rocks, use hills as cover. Remember, you know, remember how your character riding on the horse is raised above the ground. And it abused that ability to view higher than people typically do to snipe people over hills. Yeah. I wouldn't go for those shots on the Freddy Tower like that unless you have a very, very steady sniper hand. If you do get those shots, I'd be very impressed. Yeah. So going over to the fortress. This is going to take a lot of control of your horse's movements to, you know, actually operate inside the fortress in any successful way, I guess. You're going to have to be really in tune with how your horse is moving and where your crosshair is. Remember, always kind of keep your eyes in the center of your screen. Know where your bullet is going to go before you even shoot. And be patient. Here, jumping into the middle of Freddy, I usually like to go on top here and kind of pick off whoever is like on these cannons, or maybe a guy in the AA gun. That guy is right there. I don't know how I missed him like that. Anyway.
Enemy machine gun.
Usually you do not want to be inside Freddy like this, because Freddy is just, there's too many angles to be shot from. There's too many things that you have to control. Only if you're very confident would I ever recommend going inside the fortress like this, because there are places that the developers obviously didn't intend for horses to go. But hey, if you attain that skill level, then definitely do crazy things, because people will be really impressed, and then they'll send you hate mail. Yep, you can go upstairs. Oh yeah, another thing I want to touch on is those kind of destructible objects that kind of that make it harder for horses to move like that. Destroy those kinds of things with your grenades when you get a chance. It just helps you for easier escapes, so you don't have to think about not running into so many pieces of debris. Alright, coming over to A. Yeah. When you ask, like, why am I not capturing the objective here? Why am I not, why am I not doing the whole PTFO thing? That's not what the horse was intended for.
Come on.
Yeah, the horse was intended to be a killing machine. That is the whole point of this. I believe, like, the YouTuber, like, Enders, he says the role is basically like a fragger. That's what it's called, I think, in gamer speak. So, your job, consider your entire job as the horse to kill as many of the enemy team as possible. Make it as hard as possible for them to stay on objectives, because you're just constantly harassing them. Don't give them a break. Make it so that they're always having to fight you or your teammates, and if possible, make them fight both you and your teammates at the same time from two different angles. That way, they don't know which way to take cover. You see, I came up to Bravo, and I was very suspicious. I was thinking, since they just lost A, they must be at Bravo spawning. So I went into Bravo, and then I backed up immediately. I saw one person shoot at me, and I was like, yep, probably people here already, so I retreated. So be kind of passive-aggressive. When you retreat, take out your rifle and shoot back. Don't Don't run away with your lance out, because that does you no good. That's not helping you. Once the objective is partially clear and your team is caught up with you, then start going around and start attacking the enemies from behind. Make it as irritating as possible for them to get back on the objective, because they have to deal with you, and then they have to deal with your teammates. That's your entire job as the captain. Make the game so irritating for the enemy team that they give up on trying to capture objectives.
Enemy medic!
We have taken objective Charlie.
Coming towards the end of this game, I don't know exactly what else I should touch on here. If you have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer. Or if you want me to do a more in-depth tutorial on just like the movement mechanics, how to aim, I could save that for another video. So that horse, that guy just shot me with a rocket, and I knew I was going to die from full damage there, so I just got off my horse just to avoid the death at the end of the game. So, just as a final spite to him. Yeah, 78-3. It's not bad a game. I particularly chose this game because it wasn't a flawless game. Lots of learning opportunity here. But yeah. That'll be all. See ya.